Yo everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a review as well as showing you a demo and swatches of the brand new Natasha Denona YUCCA palette. So this is the latest release from Natasha Denona, and this retails at a whopping £64, but that is around the standard price of Natasha Denona palettes. I got mine from Look Fantastic in the UK. If you use my code Charlena, it'll get you 20% off, because I used it for myself and I got 20% off, making it like 54 something. I'm not good at maths. Anyway, so this is what it looks like on the outside. Let me show it to you up close first off. So this is what the outside of the palette looks like, just giving you a kind of example of what the inside shades are like. This is completely matte and it's got a really nice soft matte kind of texture, made of plastic. And then when you open it up, this is what the inside of the palette itself looks like. 15 eyeshadows altogether. And then you've got a mirror on the top. So as you guys can see, yes, this is what I'm wearing on my eyes today, because this is the eyeshadow look that I filmed today, and I will be sharing it with you in the duration of this video. So first off, let's just see what Natasha Denona has said about this palette. She said, introducing Natasha's 2023 palette of the summer. The YUCCA eyeshadow palette is the perfect balance of green-brown hues for earthy, everyday or shimmering statement summer looks. Her iconic buttery smooth formulas provides all-day wear and seamless applications, including 4 new shades in Natasha's latest sparkling foiled formula. It also says, from the revolutionary sparkling foiled, first introduced in the Love Face palette, to the creamy textured mattes and the ultra shiny metallics. Together, these buttery smooth shades provide maximum color payoff, blending seamlessly to provide vibrant, ultra pigmented, long lasting, everyday or bold and dramatic looks. This everyday palette with its rich shadows leave the skin with an optimum texture and comfortable all-day wear for any skin type and tone. Ranging from dark jungle greens to shimmering sunny goldens, warm yellows and mustard browns, the 15 shaded YUCCA eyeshadow palette delivers the ambience of summer to any look with the iconic classic mattes, cream powders, metallics and sparkling foiled formulas. Cruelty-free, paraben-free, made in Italy. Obviously, you can see what the color story is. It's already been described by Natasha Denona. It's a completely warm-toned palette. There are no cool shades in here whatsoever. There may be 1 or 2 leaning cool, but they're mostly warm. And altogether, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mattes. Then we've got the 4 sparkling foiled shades, and then we've just got some normal metallics, which is this one here and that one there. But overall, the palette is very beautiful. I like the fact that there are lots of matte shades as opposed to too many foiled shades, because matte shades is generally what you use in your crease area, on your under eye area, to create depth and dimension. And if there are too many shimmery shades, sometimes that can actually put people off. So I like the variety of the textures that are in here. So in today's video, you're going to see me using 7 different shades from the palette. I just wanted to come up with something green, kind of olivey, vibrant and very summery. I absolutely love the way that this look has come out today. So I'm just going to shut up for a moment just so that you guys can see me applying it and how I came up with this look. So I'm sure you could tell the matte shades blended very, very easily, very seamlessly. And then the foiled shimmering shade that I've got on my lid, oh my God, you guys, it is super, super intense. Now, obviously I went in with my finger so that I could get maximum color payoff. And then I went around the edges with a brush. One thing you need to remember is when it comes to these kind of foiled sort of shadows, it's best applied with a finger just so that you can get more pigment. And if you want to sheer it out a little bit, use a brush, which will kind of diffuse the color a little bit. But overall, I think that the look that I've come up with today is so pretty, so stunning, so flattering. And I'm going to show you some swatches now just so that you can see what every single shade looks like swiped once with my finger. But bear in mind, when something is shown as a swatch by the finger, it's very different to how it is with a brush. So let's start off with this shade first, which is called Plantasia. Oh my God, you guys, this one is absolutely stunning. It's one of those duochrome kind of shades. This has been described as a sparkling foiled green and bronzy rosewood duochrome color. So it's great for a variety of different types of looks, basically. That is amazing color payoff as well. This shade here is called Calathea. This is one of the matte shades. It actually shows up a lot deeper in the pan than it does swatched with a finger. So this is one of the matte shades. This is a medium dark olive green color. This is the shade called Komorebi. This is actually the color that I'm wearing on my tear duct. This is described as a sparkling foiled mustard gold. This shade here is called Acacia. Absolutely love this color, and the quality of the pigmentation of that is excellent. This is one of the matte shades. This is a matte golden olive shade, one of the ones I'm wearing in my crease today. This shade on the end is called Camu Camu. This is actually the first shadow I applied on my eyes today. This is one of the matte shades, and it's described as a matte vibrant lime color. I don't know, on me it kind of looks a little bit more yellowy, but that might just be my skin tone. Either way, I think it's a gorgeous color. This shade is called Tipu. This is another matte shade, and this one is described as a dusty mustard green color. This shade is called Elysian. Honestly, these foiled shades are to die. Look at the quality of that one as well. So this one is described as a medium taupe shade. Amazing color, great color payoff. This shade in the middle is called Valley. And this is another matte shade. This one is described as a dusty mustard brown. This one is called Citrine. This one is another matte shade. This one is described as a medium mustard olive. Such a unique color. So the shade Citrine is described as a matte medium mustard citrine color. Such a unique shade. And this is also one of the ones I'm using in my crease today. This shade on the end is called Ray. Ray is described as a metallic green gold. And here now you can finally see the difference between the foiled shades as well as the normal metallic ones. The foiled are super, super intense. These are more muted versions, but still pretty and sparkly anyway. This shade on the end is called Flax, and Flax is described as a matte dark brown shade. This is what I'm wearing to smoke out my eyes today. Blends very, very well for such a dark color. Then here we've got the shade called Fushi. It's another very unique color, one that you don't come across often. This one is described as a matte light medium mustard yellow. On me, it looks more orangey, right? But again, that might just be my skin tone. My favorite shade of the palette, which is called Macchia. This is the one that I'm wearing on my lid today. And Macchia is described as a sparkling foiled medium golden olive. Such a pretty color, you guys. Gorgeous. This is called Ixia. And this one is described as a matte burnt caramel shade. Really pretty and wearable. And then the last shade on the end is this one here called Willow. And then this one is described as a matte medium dark teal green. This is what I'm wearing on my lower lash line. So this is all 15 shades of the Natasha Denona YUCCA palette. Again, beautiful color story. All the shades work well with each other. You can come up with so many different types of looks. This is definitely an all year round palette, I would say, because you can imagine wearing some of these greeny olivey kind of shades in the fall autumn time. Great for the spring summer as well as the winter. Overall, I think is a stunningly gorgeous palette to look at. And the quality of all of them, I would say, is very, very good. So that's it for all the swatches. Now let's talk about this palette in a little bit more detail. I was wrong with how many matte shades there were, by the way. 10 matte shades altogether. 4 of the sparkling foiled shades and then 1 metallic shade, which is fine. I'm happy with this palette. I think it's absolutely excellent. I'm so happy with all the shades. I think it looks gorgeous. For those of you that were wondering about the name, yucca is a plant, and a lot of these names are plant derived kind of names. Some I've never heard of, but I assume obviously the theme. It's supposed to be a plant-based kind of color-based palette, if that makes sense. The matte shades are super easy to blend. It lasts all day on the eyes without any kind of fading or feathering. Obviously make sure that you use an eyeshadow base regardless. During the demo video, I'm sure you noticed my hair started blowing around. It's because it's quite hot in London. I mean, it just rained now, but it was earlier on in the day when I was filming it. And what was happening was, because I was so sweaty, the eyeshadow was actually catching on my eyes, so I had to turn on the fan. So make sure obviously your face is completely dry. If you're using it in the summer, make sure you've got a fan on your face, just so that obviously the shadows can blend nice and easily and seamlessly together. I like the way that all the shadows work with each other as well. I like the fact that you can layer them without them getting muddy as well, because these are the kind of shades that have the tendency to get muddy if you don't mix them correctly together. But the way I have been able to layer 3 shades in my crease and it looks perfectly fine shows how easily it does blend. One thing I will mention about the foil shadows is there's a tiny little bit of fallout, so bear in mind that you may have a few sparkles on your face, but they did brush off eventually at the end of me doing my eyeshadow. This is the kind of eyeshadow palette that I will probably use on a regular basis. You can use it for nights out, you can use it for evenings out, you can use it all the way through the year as well. Just because it's a summer palette for 2023 does not obviously mean that you have to use it as a summer palette only for the summer. It's completely up to you how you want to use it, when you want to use it. I was actually quite surprised by this neon shade in the corner, the one that's called Camu Camu, because in the past when I've used shadows like this, they show up either ashy on my skin tone or they don't show up at all. And I was actually surprised to see that this shows up very nicely and it can easily be layered to build up the color as well. So that really impressed me about this palette. Some of the shades may look similar-ish, but I would still say that they've got their own kind of unique way of looking, quite unique colors as well. This isn't the kind of palette that you often come across from brands, but I would definitely say that this would work well across the board on all skin tones. Obviously, if you've got much deeper skin tone, this lime shade in the corner may not show up in you as well, but just make sure you use a white eyeshadow base and then it will show up perfectly fine. Overall, I would give this palette a 10 out of 10. I think it's absolutely excellent. You guys know that I don't really buy eyeshadow palettes so much anymore because, well, I just ended up with way too many. So when I see one that I really want and I know the quality is going to be good, because let's be honest, Natasha Denona is known for excellent quality eyeshadows, so I definitely had to get my hands on it. And the fact that even though it cost 60 odd pounds, but I was still able to get 20% off on a brand new product means that obviously I was going to definitely get it, because it's one that I will definitely use again and again and again. I didn't really find any of the shades to be patchy either, which is great, which means that the deeper shades will blend out nicely. There aren't any really super light shades, I would say. For example, you'll notice that I didn't put anything on my brow bone because there isn't any kind of really super pale shades, but that's perfectly fine because you can still create light shades in the crease and then you can deepen them out with this shade in the corner called Flax, which is exactly what I did today. Because I blended out the flax into the green shade, it actually created its own deep green shade, if you can tell, because that's actually meant to be a brown. But the way that it blended into other shades and created its own shade, I love that about this. So that's it for my review of the Natasha Denona YUCCA eyeshadow palette. Like, comment, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are you planning on getting this? Are you considering it? Or are you just going to give it a miss this time? Either way, let me know below. I hope you guys are fabulous, wonderful and great, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.